the three types of financial instruments in the stock market that you should know about. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of BSC's Investor Education Awareness Series. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and I'm going to take you on this continuing exciting journey of information about the stock market and investing. Today, we are going to look into three main types of investments that are commonly spoken about in the stock market. The first is stocks or equities. The second, bonds. And the third, cash equivalents. Stocks are investments that you pick up and buy in a particular specific company. So let's take an example. If you purchase shares, it means you are buying a small piece of that company. This is something that we have explained to you earlier as well. Every company who sells shares of their business does so to raise cash and grow the company because they get growth capital in this way. As an investor, you can buy and sell those shares in the stock market, and as you know, stocks or shares can give you high returns, but usually they are slightly more riskier than other investments. We now move on to the second term that I had spoken about earlier, which is bonds. Now, what are bonds? Bond is a kind of a loan that a company or the government takes from investors. So you basically issue bonds and you get that money from various investors. For example, as an investor, what you should know is that if you buy a bond, what you are actually doing is giving money to the bond issuer, who then pays you back the amount with interest. Bond issuers, as we told you, are usually companies, incorporated entities, as well as the government. The third main type of investment in the stock market are cash equivalents. Cash equivalents are only for short-term investments. They have a very low risk profile, which means the returns are also low. So higher the risk, you might expect higher returns, but remember, there is always the other side of the coin. So some examples of these cash equivalents include money market funds, short-term government bonds, treasury bills, bank certificates of deposits, and you can easily convert these for cash quickly in a short time. They give you very easy liquidity. Remember, to invest in the stock market, you need to choose a good broker, something that we have told you earlier. Reputed stockbrokers give you great sound advice on how to invest, grow your money, manage it, and maintain it for the long term. And today, as we wind down this episode, I'm going to leave you with yet another word of wisdom and advice from Ace Market Investors. Subscribe to our channel, #BSC, learn, invest, prosper, and get to know more about investing in the stock market.
So I think when you begin your investment journey, the purpose of investments is to you're postponing consumption in order to have a better financial tomorrow. So clearly what you're trying to do is to beat inflation, right? So in that process, right, in process of beating inflation for the long-term needs, also you must not lose sight of the fact that there are short-term needs and there are unpredictable needs which may come up. So as an investment, you should not look only at saying 10 years from now, long-term, but you should have a range of assets with you to cater to your short-term, your unexpected, and your long-term needs. To this extent, there are a lot of financial instruments in the market. So the first thing is that there are inflation indexed bonds, which grow in yield as inflation grows. So that is the simplest and safest because issued by the government of India. So there is no risk of default there. And so those are one kind of instrument that you can look at, which can just simply give you an inflation plus return, broadly keeping pace with the inflation in the country. That's one. The second is for your short-term needs, right? Mutual funds give you a range of options. So within mutual funds, there are funds known as liquid funds. Now, many of the liquid funds carry the Insta redemption facility, which means you can put in their money there. You get the benefit of the returns which are better than bank savings accounts there. right? Because the yield in the market is generally better than the savings account yield. And the second aspect is that you get a taxation benefit because they are treated as capital gains tax when you pull out the money, as opposed to being taxed on the interest income in your bank deposit. The third advantage to these is that instant mutual gives you up to 50,000 rupees anytime money immediately credited to your bank account. So your emergency, unexpected expenditure, this money can be kept in liquid funds which are available, traded on the Bombay Stock Exchange also. At the same time, if you are not of a very risk-oriented nature, but you would like to still get a better return than you get from your bank fixed deposit, for example, I think there are a range of debt funds available with mutual funds, right from low duration, ultra short term to bond funds and gilt funds. There are a range of instruments, and I think BSE would be able to, on their website, provide you information on the various types of these debt kind of instruments. These, what they do, they don't give you very volatile returns, but at the same time, they give you something which you can consider as better than your fixed deposits. And bear in mind that over 3 years, you get the inflation indexation benefit in these debt instruments, right? So that is one thing. You can also invest in tax-free bonds, which are traded on the Bombay Stock Exchange. The government has issued tax-free bonds, and there are other people willing to sell them. Right now, there are no new issuances of tax-free bonds. But the government, which has already issued, there are subscribers who are willing to sell. You can also buy them through the stock exchange platform. So that's another type of investment. Then when you come into the equity side, there is the index funds and the exchange traded funds, which you can invest in, where you have debt ETFs like the corporate bond ETFs, right? And as you have equity ETFs like the Nifty ETF, Sensex ETF, or those kind of an ETF. So you can, for those who don't want to pay the extra cost of fund management charges, who have a very near-term outlook and who have large corpuses, so that even the small fee makes a dent, you can look at index funds and ETFs as a methodology. For those who have a longer-term horizon and would like to participate in the real Indian economic story, then you have a broader portfolio of large caps and mid caps and small caps. There are mutual funds. There are 44 asset management companies in India who run more than 400 such mutual funds, which are listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange, and you can go there and subscribe to these funds, and they generally carry a 1-year exit load of a person. So generally you should have a longer term view when you come into the mutual funds, and I think that's another instrument. Even going beyond what I spoke about in terms of debt and equity, you can invest in gold ETFs, which is buying paper gold also through the stock exchange. So typically a person should have the age that he is starting his investment journey. He should have this number of dependents which are there, his own risk profile in mind before deciding how much to add in equity, which is the highest risk asset class, how much to put in gold or in fixed income, which are safer asset classes. They're based on these factors. You can take the help of a number of advisors and distributors who are Bombay Stock Exchange brokers, who take their advice in doing your risk profiling and goal planning, and you can choose from the range of these instruments in building up your wealth for the future.